Any salesperson worth their salt knows that using the right words in the right sales pitch can mean the difference between a monumental win and a colossal failure. But only the best sellers understand that there's far more at play here than just the words that we say in our presentations. There are plenty of other ways to subtly nudge buyers towards making a yes decision. And using what we're going to cover in this video, neuro-linguistic programming, we can use that as a framework to tap into all of these other more subtle techniques as well. So what is neuro-linguistic programming and how do we use it to close more deals? We'll cover that in today's episode of Selling Made Simple. Hey all, my name is Will Barron, founder of Salesman.org, and welcome to Selling Made Simple, where we break down modern B2B sales and make it easy for you to hit your sales quota. Okay, so what the heck is neuro-linguistic programming? Does it even work? And how can you use NLP in sales? Well, NLP was first coined by Richard Bandler and John Grinder in the book, The Structure of Magic 1 and 2. And NLP is basically simply drilled down a framework for explaining and influencing how people think and behave. Now, initially, NLP was based on the idea that humans operate according to some unconscious internal map or playbook. Unfortunately, this map doesn't always reflect the reality of the world. And so by using a system of language and strategies and subtle behaviors, we can influence other people's map or internal playbook and nudge them in one way or another. And you can also use NLP on yourself to influence your own internal playbook as well. According to the founder of NLP, Bandler himself, the greatest personal limitation is to be found not in the things that we want to do and can't, but the things that you've never considered doing. Now, Bandler and Grinder also believe that NLP could identify the patterns of thoughts and behaviors of successful individuals, with the goal being that after these thoughts and behaviors of successful people were identified, we could then replicate them and instill them in other people as well. And NLP has been applied to everything from improved work productivity, career progression, to phobias, depression, anxiety, and even PTSD. But does it actually work? Well, based on the research of neuro-linguistic programming for treating health conditions, well, the evidence is pretty scarce. Out of 5 randomly controlled trials on NLP and its effectiveness in the clinical environment, only one of these trials found that there was any support that it works at all. Another study from the Canadian Agency for Drugs and Technology in Health, that was a mouthful, found that there was 0 clinical evidence supporting NLP, again, in the clinical environment. But we're not talking about the clinical environment here. We're not talking about PTSD. We're not talking about phobias. We're not talking about depression. We're talking about B2B sales. And many salespeople swear by NLP as a useful tool to influence their potential customers. So let's think of it less as a clinical practice and more as a set of communication principles that you can use to influence the people around you. So I'm going to get into a 4-step framework to implement NLP in a second, but just to prime you for that conversation, think of NLP as a series of tools, right? You can leverage your body language, your intonation, your general demeanor, and much more. These almost invisible cues all influence whether a buyer trust you or whether they think that you're a used car salesperson who are just trying to scam them out of some quick cash. The real value of NLP for B2B salespeople is that it identifies what's potentially causing buyers to distrust you, and clearly trust is a major indicator of success in sales as I record this in 2021. And so think of it as a way to improve yourself as opposed to a way to manipulate others with some secret hypnosis statement or anything like that. So there are plenty of ways that you can apply the principles of neuro-linguistic programming to your sales process, but let me talk you through the 4 most applicable ways for modern B2B salespeople. First off, we have what's called emotional anchoring. Now, the emotional anchoring technique helps introduce a specific emotional response that your buyers have had in the past when you want them to feel it again. These old positive emotional responses that your buyer has had to different circumstances and situations in the past can be linked to you, your product, the purchase of your product, which will increase the chances of them making this purchase with you. So let's say you're selling a product that lets your buyer achieve greater productivity in the workplace. A positive outcome of this greater productivity is the ability to attain these hard to reach long-term goals that will impress the C-suite. So an example of emotional anchoring in this situation when you're pitching your productivity product to the buyer might be to subtly get the buyer to recall feelings of achieving a lofty goal at work, the biggest career success. Then get them to solidify this experience by using visual language and bringing other feelings into the experience as well by saying, hey, how did your boss feel about this? How did your wife feel about this when you got home and you explained it to her? And then you can anchor that experience to a specific phrase by, throughout the conversation, going, hey, this was clearly your crowning achievement. This was your crowning achievement. Was this your crowning achievement? So here we're tying this positive emotional experience with that sentence, your crowning achievement. And this sentence, your crowning achievement, is then our anchor. So we can talk about our product from the perspective of, hey, you get this installed, you get this implemented, you get this bought, purchased, and get your team wrapped up on it, and that will be your crowning achievement. And the result, according to NLP, is an intense association between the previous positive experience and the one that you're trying to sell into the organization. The next step of the NLP in sales framework is to use specific selling phrases. So when you're selling a potential customer, you want to prime the individual to feel a specific feeling before you get into the rest of the conversation. And this sounds more complicated than what it is. And the best salespeople are doing this intuitively anyway. In NLP, these are known as magic words, and marketers, salespeople have used these words forever to elicit emotions and rapport and persuasion in their buyers. So let's say that you want your buyer to feel some positive emotions. You're going to start to use the words believe, change, energize, and healthy in your conversation, leading up to where you want them to feel positive. If you want to inspire some curiosity in the buyer, you can use the words finally, relieved, truth, and imagine. If you want to trigger some urgency, if you need to get the deal done, use the obvious word urgent, easy, simple, limited time. And if you want to build trust, again, super important in modern B2B sales, use the words guarantee, certified, no risk, and proven. So try peppering some of these words into your communication consciously with your potential customers, and you're going to be surprised just how powerful this can be. It's going to help you break through sales objections, influence a buyer's behavior, and change selling outcomes as well. The third step of the NLP in sales framework is to use body language and communication mirroring. Now, this is pretty simple. Like attracts like. It's a core tenet that's hardwired into our brains, and we're way more likely to get along with people that are similar to us. So a skilled communicator who knows this unconscious behavior consciously can use that tendency to their advantage. Now, mirroring body language is a technique that can put the buyer at ease and can break down emotional barriers and rapport barriers if there are any as you're engaging with a potential customer. And it can be done subtly, very, I can't say this enough, very subtly by copying the mannerisms, the gestures, and the posture of the buyer as well as you're engaging with them. And this mirroring can go beyond just body language. And this is a bit of a stereotype in sales training. A lot of people will teach this. It can go beyond just body language into your facial expressions, humor, cadence, how much you joke around with the buyer, all these subtle things as well. And the trick is walking the fine line between mirroring the body language too closely and it being a little bit weird and obvious, and then doing it so freaking subtly that the buyer doesn't even realize and register what you're doing. So here are a few tips to make your mirroring more successful. First off, to do any of this, you've got to maintain great eye contact. Look for unique hand gestures. Look to mimic the posture of your potential customer as well when you're engaging with them. And this works over a Zoom call, it works in person, it can even work to a certain extent over the phone as well. If the buyer is leaning back on your video call or in person, lean back subtly as well. And same if they lean forward, if they lean to one side, if they've got the elbow on the table, you can mimic all this as well. And then even go as far as, again, subtly to pick out any phrases that they tend to use and use them back within the conversation. Match their cadence. If they're speaking super fast, you can speak fast as well. And don't forget about volume. If the buyer is whispering when they're engaging with you, you probably shouldn't be screaming in their face. The final step of the NLP in sales framework is what's called mastering modeling, or also known as the Swish Pattern. And this is a little bit more complicated and challenging to describe and also to implement as well. So Quote, the Swish Pattern is a way to inspire buyers to recognize preconceived notions that they already hold in their own heads. So these can be biases, these can be hang-ups, they can be prejudices. Anything that automatically happens in the buyer's mind can be used as an influence tool in the sales process. And you do that by pulling this prejudice or this bias out into the open, so you can show the buyer that overcoming this prejudice is going to lead to a positive outcome. So let me give you an example here. Let's say you have a buyer that is extremely adverse to investing in optimizing their e-commerce store or their business. And despite everything's changing in the world digitally, everyone's going online, everyone's going through this digital revolution, they still prefer, in their words, the old school way of doing things. You, however, are a salesperson. You represent a service that offers, a 24/7 live chat for online customers. You can offer that to the buyer. So how do you convince someone who is, quote unquote, in their own words, old school, to pick up on your very new school and modern online live chat subscription? Well, you can use this Swish Pattern technique to show the buyer the value of investing in this side of the business and getting involved in technology. So a great strategy here to rock this buyer's old school mentality and change their self-image to a more productive one that allows you to sell them a product is to challenge this old school methodology that they're following. You want to put customer testimonials, you want to put client reviews, you want to put anything that shows that the old way of doing things that they're following right now is going to fail, and their self-esteem, their ego is going to take a hit on the back of that as well. You want to show them that when they change their opinion, their prejudices, their bias on technology, on moving forward in the world, on building a more successful business by becoming the new school, you want to instill that belief pattern, that self-image. You want to show them that if they get that nailed, the business is going to grow on the back of that, and you can help them make it happen. So there we have it. There are the 4 steps of the NLP in sales framework. And just even having watched this video, becoming more conscious of what you're doing, how you're subtly communicating with both your buyers, your husband and wife, your partner, whoever it is, your friends, just understanding all that subtle communication that you're putting across, whether you realize it or not, is going to make you a better salesperson, even if you don't use these techniques verbatim in the sales process. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and why not click the video that's on the screen right now and continue making selling simple.